Who should I say Natsuki? Natsuki reads my poem. She keeps glancing at me, then back at the poem. By now, she must have read it more than once.
Aren't you supposed to be bad at this?
Is that a compliment?
No, I mean, you know.
Natsuki struggles to find the words she wants.
I just expected a lot less after what you showed me yesterday. That's all.
Well, I guess I just got lucky with this one.
Yeah, exactly. You just got lucky, you know. Don't get used to it. You won't always manage to write poems this cute. I mean, well written. No, I mean.
Ah, so that's how it is. My poem is cute.
No! Why are you smiling? It's not like I like cute things.
Natsuki shoves my poem back towards me.
Reading it again, I decided that it's not so great after all. It's too cute and Doki Doki. It would only impress, you know, girls who like those kinds of things.
For some reason, Natsuki is incredibly easy to see through.
Well, anyway, you're gonna read mine now, right? And judging by your taste, you'll probably like it a lot. You'll probably learn something too. Don't forget who the real pro is. Amy likes spiders. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders. Icky, wriggly, hairy, ugly spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. But she likes spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. One time I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me up and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a lot of friends. I always see her talking to people. She probably talks about spiders. But if her friends start to like spiders too. That's why I'm not friends with her. It doesn't matter if she has other hobbies. It doesn't matter if she keeps it private. It doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt anyone. It's gross. She's gross. The world is better off without spider lovers. And I'm gonna tell everyone. Not bad, right?
It's quite a bit longer than yesterday's.
Yesterday's was way too short. I was just warming up. I hope you didn't think that was the best I could do.
No, of course not.
Anyway, the message is pretty straightforward in this poem. I doubt I have to explain it. Sometimes you can explain complicated issues with much simpler analogies. And it helps people understand or realize how stupid they're being. Like, anyone would agree that the subject of this poem is an ignorant jerk.
Do you know people like that?
Of course! It's about how everyone thinks That doesn't matter. It can be about anything. I wrote it to be easy to relate to. Everyone has some kind of weird hobby or a guilty pleasure. Something that you're afraid if people find out, they make fun of you or think less of you. But that just makes people stupid. Who cares what someone likes, as long as they're not hurting anyone and it makes them happy? I think people really need to learn to respect others for liking weird things.
Well, you're definitely right. At least I can relate to that. And I'm sure a lot of other people can too.
It's what I do best, after all. I don't like writing unless there's a good message to take away from it. Like, conveying emotions is important. But I want to make people think, not just feel. Remember that. I'm going to write a good one for tomorrow, too, so look forward to it.
We'll show it to Yuri next.
Let's see what you've written for today. Well done, Hallie. Your skills are already improving.
Ah, see? Those words you threw in for her, she didn't hate it. Really? Thanks, Yuri. Coming from you, that means a lot.
It's nothing. I'm just happy to help inspire fellow writers. I know you're new to this, so don't worry so much if it seems like you can't get your poem to feel perfect. You don't need to be afraid to be a little more daring. Metaphors can go a long way. Don't feel like you need to work your brain like turning a bunch of gears. Try letting your mind wander through your feelings. And write down the things you see and hear. That's one way to truly enable your reader to see into your mind. It's a very intimate exercise.
I see. That's certainly really interesting technique. Thanks for sharing.
I have, an example of that, if you'd like to read it.
Of course. Is this the poem you wrote for today? Yuri nods and timidly hands me her poem.
The raccoon. It happened in the dead of night, while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the skittering of a raccoon outside my windows. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious, well aware of the consequences. Well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was a symptom. The bread, my hungry curiosity. The raccoon, an urge. The moon increments with its phase and affects that much more light off of my cutting knife. The very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited. Or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon is taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood. Classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread, and I feed myself again. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's.
I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about.
That's right. It's a bit closer to my preferred writing style. Using the poem as a canvas to express vivid imagery and conveying emotions through them.
Yeah, if I take it at face value, then I can't even figure out what it's supposed to mean.
Well, I think it's something that different people can relate to in their own way. I wanted to express the way it feels for me to indulge in my more unusual hobbies. It's those sorts of things I'm usually forced to keep to myself. So I sometimes enjoy writing about them.
Huh, that's funny. Didn't Natsuki also write something about that? About someone being ridiculed for a strange interest?
She did.
Yeah. She was talking about how it doesn't matter what you're into as long as you're not hurting anybody.
She's right. Does she really feel that way?
Yeah. Sounds like you two have that in common.
That's interesting. To me, she seemed like the kind of person who would make fun of my hobbies. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? Please don't tell her I said that.
Don't worry. I have no reason to.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing it with me. After all, if I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I would probably hate myself. I might be ranting a little bit now, but I'm glad that you're a good listener.
Only one left to show.
Hi again, Holly. How's the writing going?
Alright, I guess.
I'll take that. As long as it's not going bad. I'm happy that you're applying yourself. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece.
I wouldn't count on that.
You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today?
Sure, here you go. I give my poem to Monica.
All right. I like it, Holly.
Really?
That's a lot cuter than I expected.
Oh, jeez.
No. It kind of makes me think of something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer, too. So take that as a compliment.
If you say so.
Yup. There are lots of poems or stories out there that are no more than a few simple words. They can't be funny, endearing, or even sad. And sometimes they're only a few lines long. They might even feel like they're written for kids, but if you think about them, they can express views of the world that would apply to anybody.
I see. So you're saying that Natsuki is kind of like that?
Sort of. Maybe she's not an expert. But you probably won't find that much filler in her poems. They might be easy to write, but they're super challenging to get the meaning through. So I can see why it would be your kind of poem to explore. But anyway, you want to read my poem now? I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too.
Alright, let's take a look.
Save me. The colors, they won't stop. Bright, beautiful colors, flashing, expanding, piercing, red, green, blue, an endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms, squeaking, screeching, piercing, sine, cosine, tangent, like playing a chalkboard on a turntable, like playing a vinyl on a pizza crust, an endless poem of meaningless. Load me.
It's even more abstract than your last one, huh?
I guess it's just the way I write. I'm sorry if you don't like it.
No, I never said that. It's just a kind of thing I've never really seen before, I guess.
I kind of like playing with my space on the paper. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of the poem. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise.
I see. It's still hard for me to tell what it's about, though.
Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract as a physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with the reader. So putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes you'll find yourself facing a difficult decision. When that happens, don't forget to save your game. You never know when you might change your mind, or when something unexpected may happen. Wait, is this tip even about writing? What am I even talking about? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? I have something extra planned today, so if everyone could come sit at the front of the room.
Is this about the festival?
Well, sort of.
Ugh, do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. We'll all just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members.
That's a concern of mine as well. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations. Don't worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? We don't need much more than a few decorations. Sammy's been working on posters, and I've designed some pamphlets we can give out during the event.
Okay, that's great and all, but that doesn't tell us what we're actually going to be doing for the event.
Oh, sorry, I thought you heard about it already. We're going to be performing.
Performing?
Monica. Yeah, we're going to be having a poetry performance. Each of us are going to choose a poem to recite during the event. But the cool part is, we're also going to let anyone else come up and recite poems too. Sayori's putting it all on the posters in case anyone wants to prepare ahead of time.
Sayori, who's been coloring the poster, holds it up for us to see.
Are you kidding me, Monica? You didn't already start putting those posters up, did you?
Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea?
Oh, well, no. It's not a bad idea. But I didn't sign up for this, you know. There is no way I'm going to be performing in front of a group of people like that.
I agree with Natsuki. I could never, in my life, do something like that.
Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear.
Guys!
No, Sayori. I understand where they're coming from. Remember that Natsuki and Yuri have never shared their poems with anyone until just a couple days ago. It's a lot to ask for them to recite their poems out loud to a whole room full of people. I guess I kind of overlooked that. So I'm sorry. But I still think we should give it our best. We're the only ones responsible for the fate of this club. If we start the event and each put on a good performance, then it will inspire others to do the same. And the more people who perform, the better we'll be able to show everyone what literature is all about.
Yeah, it's about expressing your feelings, being intimate with yourself, finding new horizons, and having fun.
That's right. And it's those reasons that we're all in this club today. Don't you want to share that with others? To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place? I know you do. I know we all do. And if all it takes is standing in front of the room for 2 minutes and reciting a poem, then I know you can do it.
Natsuki and Yuri remain silent. Sayori looks worried. I guess that leaves me no choice. I agree. I don't think it's too much to ask. I think that Sayori and Monica have been trying really hard to get new members. The least we can do is help them out a little bit.
Well, maybe, but...
It looks like Natsuki doesn't have any arguments left.
Okay, fine. I guess I'll just have to get it over with. All right.
Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. What about you, Yuri?
Yuri dejectedly glances around at everyone else's expectant faces.
I guess I don't really have a choice.
That's everyone! You're the best, Yuri!
This club is seriously going to be the death of me. Oh gosh. You'll be fine, Yuri. But anyway, let's move on to the main event. I I want each of you to choose a poem of yours. We're going to practice reciting them in front of each other.
No way!
Monica, this is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your poem in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? Oh no. Don't worry. I'll start off to help everyone feel a little more comfortable.
Can I go next?
Of course. Now, let's see.
Monica flips through her notebook to the specific poem she has in mind for herself. She then stands behind the podium.
The title of my poem is The Way They Fly. Ahem.
Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. More than that, her inflection is pristine. She knows exactly how to apply emotion behind each line she recites, bringing the words to life. Is this something... Oh, I clicked too quickly. My apologies, dear viewer. Is this something she's done before, or is she simply unnatural? I glance around me. Everyone has their eyes on Monica. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has an intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monica takes a deep breath and smiles. It wasn't a deep breath, it was just a regular breath.
That was so good, Monica!
Thank you very much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? I'll go next.
Wow, Yuri's fired up all of a sudden!
Yuri clutches a sheet of paper between her hands and stands up. Keeping her head down, she walks quickly over to the podium.
This poem is called...
Yuri anxiously glances at each of us.
You can do it, Yuri!
It's called After Image of a Crimson Eye.
Yuri's voice shakes as she starts reading the poem. Just a moment ago, she practically refused to do this. Why is she suddenly putting in so much effort? As Yuri gets past the first couple of lines, her voice changes. It's almost like what happens when Yuri gets absorbed into her books. Her quivering words transform into the sharp syllables of a fierce and confident woman. The whole poem is full of twists and turns in its structure that she enunciates with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her as if she'd be bewildered even herself. It's up to me to save this situation. I'm the first to start applauding. Everyone joins me afterward, and we give Yuri the recognition she deserves. It's not that we didn't want to applaud for her, but we were caught so off guard that we must have forgotten. As we applaud, Yuri holds the poem to her chest and rushes back into her seat.
Yuri, that was really good. Thank you for sharing.
Looks like Yuri is down for the count.
Okay, I guess I'm next then.
Sayori hops out of her chair and cheerfully walks to the podium.
This one's called My Meadow. Sorry, I giggled.
Sayori.
It's a lot harder than I thought. How did you guys do it so easily?
Try not to think of it like you're reciting to other people. Imagine you're reciting it to yourself, like in front of a mirror or in your own head. It's your poem, so it'll come out the best that way.
I see. Okay then.
Sayori begins her poem. Somehow, it feels like her soft voice was made as a perfect match. The poem isn't aimlessly cheery like Sayori is. It's serene and bittersweet. If I were to read this on paper, I probably wouldn't think much of it, but hearing it come from Sayori's voice almost gives it a whole new meaning. Maybe this is what Sayori meant when she said she likes my poems. It's like I get to reach more deeply into someone I thought I knew through and through. Sayori finishes and we applaud.
I did it!
Good job, Sayori.
Even Hallie liked it. I guess that's a good sign.
What does that even mean?
It came out nicely, Sayori. The atmosphere of the poem fits you really nicely. But it might be that other poems wouldn't work quite as well with that kind of delivery.
I don't really understand.
In other words, I've seen poems of yours where that sort of gentle delivery wouldn't work as well. They might need a little more force behind them, depending on what you're reading.
Whoa, I know what you mean. Well, I've been practicing that kind of thing. It's just embarrassing to do in front of everyone.
And then next time, I'm going to make you pick a poem that challenges you a little more. We don't have much time before the festival, you know.
Okay.
Now, who's next? Natsuki?
Don't make me go before Hallie. It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Hallie lower everyone's standards a little before I have to do it. Natsuki!
It's fine. I might as well get it over with, but it's not like I have much of a selection of what to read. I'll just have to go with what I wrote for today. I stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I recite my poem. Since I'm not exactly confident in my own writing, it's hard to put energy into it. Despite that, once I finish, I receive applause anyway. Sorry, I'm not really as good as everyone else.
Don't worry about it so much. I think it's less about your abilities and more about your lack of confidence in your writing. That's something that'll improve over time, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Alright then. That just leaves you, Natsuki.
Yeah. I'm going.
Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium.
The poem is called... It's called... Why are you all looking at me?
Because you're presenting.
Anyway, the poem is called Jump.
Natsuki takes a breath. Once she starts reciting the poem, her sour attitude disappears a little. While she's still a little unenthused, her poem has a rhythm and rhyme to it. It's Natsuki's trademark style, and it works surprisingly well when spoken aloud. The words feel like they bounce up and down, as if giving life to the poem. Natsuki finishes, and everyone applauds. She huffs back to her seat.
That wasn't so bad, was it?
Easy for you to say. You'd better not make me do that again.
Oh, well. Do you at least feel prepared enough to recite a poem in front of other people?
I mean, doing it in front of other people will be way easier. I can put on whatever face I want for other people. But when it's just my friends, it's just embarrassing.
That's a surprise, Natsuki. I think it would be the other way around for me.
Well, that's just how it is, so...
Well, I guess in that case, you won't have much to worry about for the festival. That said, I want to thank everyone for coming through. It might be hard, but I hope that you all have an idea of what it's like now. Make sure you pick a poem and get enough practice before the festival, okay? I'll be making pamphlets, so let me know ahead of time what you'll be reciting.
Jeez. I should probably find some other poem to recite instead.
That's fine too. It doesn't have to be your own. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting on all this effort for the club. It makes me really happy.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, everyone. I think that's about it for today. I know the festival is coming up, but let's try to write poems for tomorrow as well. It's been working out really nicely so far, so I'd like to continue that. As for the festival, we'll finish planning tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. I can't wait! I can do this. I can do this.
Alright. I stand up. There's no way I'll be able to find the same enthusiasm as Sayori and Monica, but I'll do my best to get through it. If it's for the sake of the club, and impressing Monica, then I'll have to do my best.